What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Swolecast Poker Edition. We are blessed. We are blessed to have this off-season Swolecast to be able to just do whatever we want. And this week is a special Swolecast edition. David Kitchen joined by Davis Maddock. Davis, say hello.
You know, I just got to say, it's a real bummer that we weren't just bringing back the League of Legends show, because there's nothing more that people online like to tell you than how good they are at playing cards. A lot of people online really think they're good at playing cards, but no one's under those illusions with League of Legends.
All right. We've got Peter Overzet. Peter Overzet, the prop king. How's it going?
Doing good, man. You could actually, last week I had you introduce me as the 45th ranked esports CFS player in the world. Today I'd like you to introduce me as the 123rd place finisher in the inaugural RotoGrinders Poker Open. That happened to be the best showing by any RG employees. So yeah, it feels good to be king.
Is that true?
It's all here. It's all hearsay. You can't trust anyone these days. All right. So we also have Sammy Reid. And Sammy, I'm just gonna say it. The pressure's on, my friend. Not just like the poker, the DFS Open event number 2 happening tomorrow night, but also this show. Do you feel up to it?
Absolutely not. But I do have my trusty flask handy. I think we'll get through it.
Sammy, okay. It's only 1 p.m. there
It's
in
1
California, man. All right.
I mean, nothing
like
helps
6
out your
a.m.
online poker game like drinking. So.
Sammy, is this just to ease the nerves of just being in the presence of 3 professional broadcasters?
Actually, what it is ever since I had a kid, I'm no longer allowed to vape in the house anywhere. So I don't know how I'm gonna get through this hour, honestly.
I do. With that
welcome
hood,
to adulting.
I'm getting like strong Phil Locke vibes.
Phil Locke.
You, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen, do you know who Phil Locke is?
And no
Definitely.
clue.
Yeah.
The Unabomber, man. Watch some old World Poker Tour DVDs for once in your life.
I do recognize the look though, as far as hoodies and glasses and like peak World Series of Poker. I do understand that. For those that do not know,
poker bro.
I am not a poker guy. Just imagine like my level of knowledge and expertise in DFS, the opposite of that.
So you're really good at poker?
You're taking this thing down then, eh?
Yeah.
The second DFS Open winner, David Kitchen.
What's the equivalent of like backup quarterback in cash for poker? Just like
or touting or
the button.
or no, like what's the equivalent of like touting defensive players, like knowing the names of defensive players? It's like it would be like telling everyone at the table how bad they were playing, like in the middle of playing. That's the equivalent for sure, which Kitchen wouldn't even do.
All right, let's set the table. Let's set the table for this, because this is obviously like we don't have anything better to do, but this is pretty cool. The first DFS Open I enjoyed. I'm not even a poker guy, but I enjoyed playing in it. I enjoyed kind of seeing the live stream. This week is the event number 2, and basically it is the Swolecast event. So you have to keep all the sharks out. You have to basically have a password, and I'm not going to say what that password is.
What does it rhyme with?
Peter, what does it rhyme with?
I would say it rhymes with coal fast.
Coal fast.
Yeah. Love it.
I actually I stopped doing intermittent fasting and now I just do coal fasting. So that's your clue.
Can you eat bacon on that fast? Because if so, I'm in.
I haven't had bacon since the second Clinton administration. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I had breakfast, Dave.
Well, you can have. That's
lot of money in that. I heard, Peter.
You can eat bacon like it doesn't just have to be for breakfast.
Yeah, says the guy that was eating Lucky Charms. I think last time we were
Kitchen was so close to getting ready to tout ketogenic dieting and being like, dude, I just dip bacon and cream cheese and that's my lunch. He was ready to go there.
I'm a bacon bro. All right, so this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's a little bit earlier start time and a little bit different. We've got 11 sweep coins buy-in.
8:30 Eastern, right? Kitchen.
Oh, okay, sure. 8:30. What you want to take over the hosting duties?
Hey, look, I just didn't want you to Davis Maddock it and start associating different time zones with different times.
Too much bacon fat coursing through your veins to get your details right.
Bacon fat is fuel, so nice try. It's like, anyways. So 8:30 Eastern time, 7:30 the best time zone, Central Time. 11 sweep coins is the buy-in, and then unlimited buy-ins for 10 sweep coins the first hour. So however many times you want to buy in the first hour, you can. We also have bounties, including myself. And if you knock out one of the 10 bounties, I think we're all a bounty, even Peter, you get a ticket to their to Global Poker's home series, which is a 218 buy-in. So
is the bounty only on our first life, Kitchen?
No, the bounty is basically the last person to knock you out. So I plan on
last one. Okay.
So everyone who's calling us with Jack High in the first 30 minutes is not approaching it in a GTO way.
Poker terminology. I'm just laughing when you guys laugh. So
Kitchen doesn't know what Jack High is. He's like, yeah, it's funny.
I mean, I'm guessing Jack High is like when one of the cards is a jack and it's your highest
we're
card.
making progress here.
Yeah, so there you go. So basically it's going to be like a minimum of 20,000 sweep coins. You've also got the top 20 get a ticket to the home series event. So guaranteed overlay. People should know that terminology, regardless if you're an online poker savant like Samuel is. Sammy, do you think that you have more knowledge on poker than Davis and Peter combined?
Davis for sure, because we talked about poker, and he went and played one time. He's like, yeah, man, I 4-bet with sixes and just like jammed it all in. The guy had queens. I didn't know what to do. Like I can't, so
I gotta have queens.
How many hand histories have you been subjected to by Davis, Sammy, like in the past few months?
Okay, so there was just like a streak for like a week and a half, and none on either side of the week and a half. But Davis was really in deep for a quick minute.
Well, I play every day, more or less, but I don't send you hand histories that often.
I legit just got an email from Davis. He's sending me poker books.
Poor Davis can't blame any of his poor choices on like following like some of the high stakes player. He can't like blame his mistakes on somebody else. He has to take personal responsibility for it. Such is life.
There are a lot of mistakes out there.
I imagine Davis in a tough spot in a tournament trying to get Sammy on a Zoom call, sharing his screen. Sammy, what do I do here?
I'm winding down, but I can never make like technology work because I'm a boomer. So it would like take too long. You'd time out, and that would be it.
All right, so let's talk about the strategy, the GTO, or as people outside the poker world maybe not know, the game theory optimal strategy.
Did you look that up before the show, Dave, to make sure?
I think he's just heard people say it enough at this point.
I definitely did not know what it was like a year ago when, or maybe 2 years ago, when Joey kind of brought it to the DFS world.
Well, what's so interesting is about like getting interested in poker over the last couple months, like because of a big part of Sammy like telling me and just being like, dude, poker's so great, you just got to play it, so you just got to get it in, you make money. Is
just get it in print. Yeah.
How are both of your guys' impersonations for each other the exact same?
So like a lot of these things that we talk about in DFS just like slowly bled over from this movement in poker from like 3 to 4, 5 years ago when people started using solvers and then using those solvers in the books that they were writing, Sammy.
Yeah, and then using terms like the nut low when it comes to DFS.
Yeah,
and
just all that stuff.
One.
Yeah, all that stuff just bled over into DFS, which I think is funny, which I didn't really realize. Like, obviously I knew GTO was like a poker thing, but it's like actually like a legitimate strategy in poker, or like a way of playing.
But it took, I mean, if you think of like projection systems and optimizers in DFS as GTO, as like solvers, like it took poker a lot longer to get solvers involved with the mainstream than it did DFS.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, strategies. Peter, how many times will you buy in the first hour?
As many as necessary. I don't think of these chips as currency. I think of them as bullets, and that
there's only one true currency, by the way.
Man's coin. Yeah.
You got to think of them as an advertising budget, Peter.
True. No, but people do wonder what these sweep coins are, and very similar to Man's coin, when the grid goes down and American currency is completely devalued, only two things will exist that you can barter and trade and feed your families with, and those are sweep coins and Man's coins. So just plan accordingly.
I don't even know what to say. don't know how to say
this
it.
idea is probably a little too revolutionary for the common people.
Do we actually want to talk about like poker strategy on the Swolecast though? Like, is that really a direction we want to go to?
No, I want to know how many times, Davis, you will buy. Like, are you going all in just to try to get the biggest pot in the first hour?
I mean, I certainly don't think that just like shipping it every time you get to like a top 25% hand is like GTO. But if you are trying to amass, double up your stack very quickly, like certainly some people will try that. I will not be doing that. But I mean, if I bust in the first hour, I'm for sure rebuying.
All right. So how many times will you buy in if necessary?
I don't know, like 3 probably seems like, I don't know, maybe more. I really like
3 seems like the minimum for you.
It does. Sammy, do you think it makes you you're more of a GTO robot, right? I mean, does it make you play a little bit more loose knowing that you have those rebuys? Do you alter your strategy in that first level at all, or is it just business as usual, and if you need to use the rebuy, you do?
No, I think the thing is like ICM implications are kind of thrown out the window. Do you guys know what ICM is?
Of course, but explain it for Davis.
So Davis, ICM is the independent chip model.
Chip model, yeah.
Yeah, it's right, like a calculation based on like the dollar value of each individual chip inside the tournament.
That's exactly right. And so the chips are like devalued as the tournament goes on, right? Like everybody buys in for a certain amount, and that amount equals the number of actual dollars you bought in for. But at the end, one person ends up with all the chips, but they don't end up with all the money, right? All the money goes to like the different places, first place, second place, third place. So the chips themselves lose value as the tournament goes on. And basically what it means is that the value of gaining chips is not as great as the detriment of losing chips. So you just don't want to get it all in. Like doubling up doesn't help you as much as busting hurts you in the short version. But that goes out the window in the first hour when you can just buy some more sweep coins, get back in there, and you're good to go.
I will still probably play super, super nitty for the first 2 hours, regardless of buy-ins or whatever. I literally played 3 hands last.
Are you saying that your always strategy is super nitty?
Yeah, I play poker very differently than the way that people would imagine that I play. I'm just a super nit.
Okay, all right.
Well, I just fold a lot.
Let's stop that. Like
that just doesn't sound. I think you're trying to send out false signals out into the world.
Yeah, is this your bluff?
Yeah, he's trying to widen his bluff range through misinformation.
I mean, it's not like I don't play that well. I'm just saying, like, playing super nitty is not even a GTO strategy. It's like that's a pretty exploitable way to play. Is people can just fold to pretty much all your 3 bets, or they just have you on super polarized ranges. So what I'm saying is not even like a optimal way to play.
All right. So Sammy, should I in the first hour then, I should not be afraid of someone like trying to bully me basically.
Yeah. Right? I mean, that's what I would think.
Bluffing is like nothing in the first hour.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you should take any edge, right? There's no like big picture implications because you can just buy back in. So obviously, if you're just a one bullet kind of guy and you're afraid of that kind of smoke, maybe you don't want it. But
people are definitely going to be more willing to call off their stacks in that first hour. Like I would not be doing a lot of river bluffs or whatever in this situation because you're going to get called by like second pair. I would think a pretty good amount.
It's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue for me. I definitely busted out of the first one on a kamikaze bluff.
Those feel so good though.
But hey, sometimes gunfighters get shot, man, you know? Happens.
Because there was this element to the first one where there was the embarrassment factor. You know, again, Sammy plays, he knows that he's just going to make his lines. He's going to make the plays he needs. But for most people are like, I don't want to be one of the first people out and get made fun of. So there was probably a more general nittiness. Whereas now this one, I think it's going to swing in the other direction because there's the safety net of the rebuys. So people are going to be splashing around in that first hour.
Yeah, and they also realize that nobody cares what place you went out in if you didn't finish first. Nobody cares. Like, whatever.
123rd. Some people do care.
No
some people do care, and there also will be like last longer bets and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead, Davis. I want you to basically handicap the field as far as like give us some odds on how we stack up in this tournament.
How the four of us stack up in this tournament?
Yeah, like all right, let's start there. Like
relative to the field.
Yeah.
Do you like give us rankings of like above average, on par, below average with the field?
I mean, don't douche this because Kitchen is definitely going to last longer than all of us. No matter what.
I mean, I would say like Sammy would be above average with this field. Peter and I would probably be right about average or below average, and then Kitchen would be below average for sure. The thing I saw was pretty interesting at my tables was just that some people clearly knew what was going on. You know, their bet sizes were appropriate. They weren't, you know, just like showing up at showdown with like very weird hands. And then like I switched tables and people were just like, there were a couple hands where the whole table called the big blind, just like it literally called all the way around, which is like
bomb pot.
I mean, just basically the number one way, if you're unfamiliar with players online, to tell if someone's good or not is if they ever just open call, they probably are bad and have never like tried to play seriously.
I mean, this tournament has to be any DFS poker tournaments has to be like plus EV for someone that is like really good at poker, right?
I mean, I think that's true, but I think it's true just generally no matter what right now, because there's all sorts of gamblers out there not having anything to gamble on.
The games are definitely the softest they've been online since Black Friday.
Everywhere, like the games online are so insanely good. It's fantastic. So
and that's why we have
any different.
That's why we have a password on this, so that the regulars can't get in. The not because like if you saw like DFS.
I mean, yeah, this has to be like this has to be like the most plus EV tournament in online poker.
That's why there is a password. We're not going to tell you it, but it rhymes with Swolecast. So if you go and sign up using the RotoGrinders links, you'll get some free sweep coins. And again, 30 of these like home series seats. And this is all new to me. So like yesterday, I'm like, okay, what is home series? And basically like, well, it's one tournament that they run every day. And sometimes it's lower entry. This buy-in is like a 218 ticket. So 30 of those bad boys going to be available via bounties or top 20.
And that's the thing is it's certainly worth going out of your way to try to bust all of us, right? Because it costs $11 or 11 sweep coins to enter this tournament, and you're getting laid like 20-1 on that next entry.
Yeah, that is a disproportionate prize. That's huge.
It's huge, right? So you can just go all in and take 2-1 the worst of it or 4-1 the worst of it, and like just by like sheer equity odds, it's worth it. So basically what I'm saying is get it in bad against us and and hope you get lucky. Because
yes, definitely call it off as bad as possible against the four of us.
Look at these long cons Davis and Sammy are playing. Davis is like, I'm just the biggest nit ever, always. And then Sammy's like, you're getting like 10-1 odds to just punt off your stack right away.
My favorite was Davis like just grouping himself in with Peter. Like Peter Davis has been on like national television playing poker. And it's not even like with his sharp personality; it's with an alternate personality. Like he knows a lot about poker, Davis. And so for you to say that you know just as much as he does, I feel like is disingenuous.
I mean, I don't know.
Chip tricks like this, Davis. Hang on.
I can shuffle them. I can't do the thing that like the super try hard at the table does. I can't do that.
Look at Charlie. Charlie, please grab a GIF of that and throw that on Twitter.
Solid.
All right. So Davis, you against Peter last longer. Who like handicap your odds there?
Loser has to delete Laird's number from their phone.
It's easier. It's easier for you because you have two phones. I will lay even though these odds are not accurate. I'll lay -120 to Pete that I last longer.
Oh my God. Jeez, Davis.
Well, people have been giving me a hard time on Twitter for not wanting to book action, so I figured I'd give you a favorable price.
Okay. All right, booked.
All
right. How many times does Sammy buy into this tournament, Davis?
I mean, I think 3 is like a good number. I feel comfortable with that.
I was going to say over under 2.5 is a good one.
All right.
I'm gonna take the under on that because even if he has 2 kamikaze bluffs, one of them probably gets through or he gets a double up in there. I don't see Sammy going 3.
All right, Davis, the line maker. Let's talk about some other guys. Let's talk about Big T. Let's talk about Tony.
Just take the over on Tony. I just feel like he's getting it in there because he just wants to win.
Line. You got to set the line. Like how many times does he buy in?
He's like the Negreanu, right? When he's going for player of the year in these events and you can just rebuy unlimited just because he's trying to get those points. I mean, Big T, the line has to be like 6.5.
Yeah, he's just trying big T. I mean, I'll take the under on 6.5, but I'd say 3.5. I'll book the over at even money.
So I love how you said 3 was like a perfect number. And then we agreed that Big T's going to go ham and Davis says 3.5.
Well, there's just a lot of like what I mean, if he ships his first all in, there probably won't even be someone at his table with a stack to end him in that first hour. You don't play that many hands in an hour.
You can, judging by my past experience.
Davis, you're nitty with your prop bets too, man.
Global poker.
I just gave a better poker player than me plus 120.
So we got to loosen you up. You're on the same tier, anyways.
So Sammy, knowing some of the people draft cheat made it. Sorry, dropping chips over
you
here.
Dropped your
cool trick.
Yeah,
Charlie, clip that.
Somebody get a gif of that.
I gotta redeem myself. I used to be able to do this one. Anyways, who do you think is the favorite in this tournament, Sammy? Of the people
is Crane in the tournament?
Yeah,
I would say
Crane's
Crane.
Crane's really good.
Crane wants really good player, to know guy. He's really good. I know that.
Crane got kicked out of the Corona Poker Club for being too good.
That's exactly right. He won like 5,600, and they're like, "You got to bounce, dude." Like that's it.
So, but he did like lose a little bit at first, and then he went on a pretty big win streak, and then
that's what you got
to
do. You ever seen the movie Maverick? Where he just loses for an hour, and figures everything out, and then storms back. That was Crane. It was like modern day Maverick.
I've seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Uncle Phil hustles the guy after Will Smith gets taken by the pool shark. I've seen that one.
Kitchen, have you seen Rounders?
Of course.
I thought it was 50-50 yes or no there, to be honest.
But that's just like a good that's not just like a poker thing. It's just like a good movie. It's just like a solid movie.
It's a Matt Damon and Edward Norton flick. Amazing.
You know what movie's next on my list is Contagion.
Silva's tweeted about it.
Yeah, I think Silva's watched that like 19 times.
Okay, yeah, and I can't do that. He said like he watched it 3 times in a row. I'm like, if you see like one like disaster flick, why would you watch it
he heard about COVID-19 for the first time on like March 8th.
And he said, I'm not gonna tweet about it until I watch Contagion 5 times. And then he did, and he's like, all right, floodgates are open, let's go.
And like Silva, how do you watch that like 5 days in a row? Like, is he pausing the tape and like jotting notes down for
he doesn't have any XFL to grind, so it's been tough for him.
Virus
I hope
has
he's
really
not
good
letting his daughter watch it, for goodness sake.
He's in the mock draft right now, like creating like his own trade scenarios. He won like best mock drafter of the year a couple years ago.
Yes, he did.
Title.
That's how you get a girl. Hey, top mock drafter 2018. You're looking at him. What? Oh yeah.
All right. Let's talk about some of the other guys that we do know. Guys like Dan Bach. Like, where'd you put Dan Bach relative to like the RotoGrinders tout field?
I don't know. I feel like I would love to watch him play though, like because Dan's just an entertaining dude, and he's a little bit of a boomer sometimes, so that can always be fun.
Like you don't think he like knows where the buttons is, or like he like
no. That's the thing though.
The right button.
Because I bet Dan's played some cards. Like I think I would favor Dan. I would make Dan a favorite over you.
Here's the thing for Dan. If you were, buying a piece of Dan's action, you have to know that every single minute progressive into the tournament,
past
Dan
9
gets
o'clock.
more and more bedtime equity on his shove. His range just gets a little more loose because he's like, if I donk it off, I'm that much closer to my head hitting that sweet, sweet pillow.
All right, draft cheat. Where's draft cheat on the scale of DFS touts? Because he finished top 5.
He
in the inaugural.
Plays every day.
Yeah. All right. So would you say he's better than Crane?
No.
Crane
was like a professional poker player.
Yeah, Crane actually knows how to play poker.
Didn't you see him in that little newsy cap? I mean, nothing says professional like that hat he was wearing on TV.
But listen, if draft sheet comes at this tournament with the same furor that he did getting John Boy to smash Randone on Twitter about 10 minutes ago, he's the biggest favorite of all. I mean, that's just a straight fact. So I'm on team draft sheet.
Let's also preface that Randone does a good enough job of dunking on himself on Twitter. No one else has to do anything.
All right. Sammy, any other tips that you have for us?
Yeah, I would just say like later in the tournament, really be sure to call off your stack very, 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 very tightly and bluff it off very loosely, right? Like you don't want to be the guy calling off because like, dude, even if you call with a better hand than the other guy, like, some guy just jams on you that is full of it, and you call him with like ace 9, even if he's got something like jack 10 or something, like he's like 60-40. He's got like 40% equity, and the 40% chance that you lose is not worth the double up basically in like the middle stages. Whereas, if you're the one pushing your equities, you just have a lot more fold equity, and they're kind of committing ICM suicide if they're the ones calling off. So you want to be the one pushing and not the one calling.
ICM International Chip Model, for those that do not know.
That's right. Not to be confused. In the chat, there was some confusion if it was Insane Clown Posse, and I just want to make sure we got that squared away. But
the insane
Sammy,
chip model.
As a follow-up to that question, I think a scenario people often find themselves in is the blinds are going up, their stack is getting smaller, they haven't made a move. And there's always that weird wiggle period where you're not in just full shove mode, but any raise almost commits you to the pot.
You cost yourself so much equity. Like once you get to 20 big blinds, you just shove. Like raising 8 big blinds is so bad.
I'm asking the guy that Is it Poker Professional, not the guy that I have a head-to-head bet?
I mean, Davis just read a book, though. He just read a book and emailed it to me. So
it's just Tuttle's not even here, and I'm trying to ask someone a question, and Davis snipes the answer.
This is perfect. After he says that he just like is like he doesn't know anything relative to the field.
Hey, he's an average player. Like.
Okay,
no, I'm not an average player in the scope of poker players in the world. I'm an average player for this extremely, extremely soft private poker tournament.
All right, Sammy, but you heard my question. Now you can pontificate on it.
Gosh, I really hate to like agree with Davis Maddock here. But basically the worst thing you can do is get down to a situation basically where you're under 10 big blinds, because even then, if you double up, you still don't have that much to work with. Like you need multiple double ups and you just don't want to be in that spot. And furthermore, you're going to get called so much wider. You know, people are going to call you a lot when your stack is short. So I think people tend to wait too long to start going into just kamikaze shove mode. And I think that you should start doing that too soon rather than too late for some of the reasons Davis mentioned. But yeah, once you get to, 20, you don't have to be auto shoving. But once you get down to that, like, I don't know, 12 to 15 range, your moves are really kind of put in a bad spot. And the other thing is, I mean, Davis was talking about raise sizing a lot. What you see in tournaments a lot is people just opening like 2 times the big blind, 2.2 times the big blind. It's really tournament standard and it's a smart thing to do. But in these tournaments, you just see people like opening to like 3x, 4x, 5x, like no big deal. And you don't want to be busting that much of your stack on just open raises. So I say either raise really small or just be jamming it.
All right. Davis, I got a question for you. If you can't spot the sucker at the table, who's the sucker?
Peter Overzet is the sucker if you can't spot him. He's probably in disguise because he's using his props at the table to hide his real identity.
Davis, you have top 20. Top 20 gets a ticket to the 218 home series event from Global Poker. What odds?
They're just giving away. They're just giving away the equity.
What? Well, that's what they want is people to be playing. I mean, this is like imagine when there's nothing else to do but play.
You gotta get that U.S. market, and Poker Bros is stealing it.
So,
Global's got a snatch.
So you've got to, Davis, you gotta handicap yourself.
How many people are registered for this?
I mean, last time it was around 1,500, and this time you've got unlimited buy-ins as well. So handicap yourself and set a line for you getting top 20 in one of those tickets.
So 20 people out of 1,500 is, I mean, I don't know. I'd be like 25 to 1 or something.
Wow. I mean, that's a long shot, right?
That was extremely napkin math. I'll have to have the chat check that out. But it's like point, like a very low number of the field is. Well,
if there's 1,500, that means it's 1 out of 75. So if you're 25 to 1, you're saying you're 3 times. Yeah.
So
better than the average player.
So I would say like 70 to 1 then, if I'm giving myself a little bit of credit as slightly above average.
I love how we went to 25 to 1 to 70 to 1.
Is there a market where I can short Davis?
Yeah.
And that wasn't we literally joke either.
We literally are betting against each other.
That's true.
If you just short all cryptos, it's kind of the same thing.
All right. What are the odds that I outlast Davis?
You're a favorite.
You think so?
I think you're a favorite against any of us. There is no way that you are not outlasting.
Yeah, after us donking on you, like, yeah, you got to be a big favorite to win the last longer.
You may get my bounty.
Yeah.
Well, I'll add another wrinkle into it. I don't know if we're doing the live stream or whatever, but I was playing nittier than I normally do because I was doing the live stream and I wasn't focused on the table.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, and look how that resulted in me still performing better than anyone else on the live stream. You know, some of us are just Renaissance men. But I was just trying to prove the point that my playing style might be a little different if I get
Peter just discovered that playing nitty leads to profitable results in playing poker.
Well, yeah, where would Patrick Laird and cash be on like in a poker scenario?
That's like
that's like I'd say it's like raising under the gun with like 8-10 of clubs.
Are you not supposed to do that?
You're just balancing your range, dude. That's just a balanced range wager there for sure.
PayPal My Money said, just saw Pete's audition for the Swolecast from 3 years ago, and then fire emojis.
Yeah, it took him 2 years to finally hire me after that audition.
If that doesn't just epitomize what the Swolecast is about, that someone
make a wish.
It's a real rags to riches type of story, you know? I mean, Pete just built himself up from nothing, just a kid with a dream. Now he's a crypto entrepreneur and one of the staples of this show, like basically replacing Evan Silva. I mean this
back
is just
then, yeah, there
amazing.
Could be a movie. Back then he literally went by the name FF Comedy Hour _ Pete. Like that was his name. All right. So
I mean, who is watching this movie about the FF Comedy Hour and Peter Overzet's climb in the fantasy industry? Every Day is an Adventure is a great name for the movie, though.
Listen, we're still on like the beginning of the story arc. There's lots more to come here.
Pete, I literally show people at the poker table the video of you going to MIT and talking about Manscoin. When they ask what my chip protector is, I'm like, hey, check this out, and I show them the video.
Dude, I need to send you a bag of those Manscoins and have you be my salesman on the poker floor for me.
Dude, I've gotten it out there. I had that picture with Andrew Nemi.
Oh yeah,
touting it.
Yeah, the mugs game, man. Those were
got it on the live stream. They talked about it on the Stones live stream.
So
I think Postle and the Manscoin.
I think the moral of the story and what Dave is trying to hint at is right now there's someone out there making League of Legends parody videos for 4 people. And someday they're going to be on this show. So I think, follow your dreams.
Bradley says, how much is the buy-in? It's 11 sweep coins. So 1 sweep coins equals to $1. And then 10 unlimited buy-ins for the first hour. And those are 10 sweep coins. So
what does this mean by PayPal money? If Pete were actually good in GPPs, jerk.
A biopic.
I mean, he is the 45th ranked League of Legends DFS player. So you tell me who's good at GPPs.
Yeah, man. Some of us took first and second in the $20 3 max on DraftKings for the LPL LCK slate overnight, son. So
some of us did.
So maybe we get David Lynch on the line and get that biopic rolling.
Before we exit, Rams Chargers, HBO's Hard Knocks, gonna be filming there. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Sammy?
No Todd Gurley. No Phil Rivers. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but they might sign Cam or Jameis, both of which would be hilarious.
I mean, haven't we seen enough Jameis? Like, what's he gonna do beyond the finger licking W's for us to really?
I am so invested in Jameis in fantasy football that I'm anytime there's a quarterback opening, I just got to bring his name up just to put it out there in the universe.
You got to make sure when you do that, you mention his yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be way better if they replay? Like, I want to see the quarantine version of Hard Knocks where they splice together the documentary based on all of the Zoom calls, the phone calls, all of that.
Guys doing home workouts.
Yeah, I want to see the MTV cribs for all these guys recording their stuff at home. Laird told us he's been working out in his parents' basement. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I want to see.
That was such a humble little brag about us talking to Laird.
I've dropped it a few times now.
Wait. I love how Peter dropped the name and then Davis helped him pick it up by saying, we talked to him.
That's what you call an alley-oop, David Kitchen.
It was, I think Davis actually mentioned this last week, but I had gotten the text from Davis with a bunch of exclamation points and he goes, check your burner phone. And I'm trying to turn on my burner phone. It's dead because I haven't charged it for a few months. Frantically, and then I'm like, I can't get it on. Tell me what he said, Davis.
I'm sending him screenshots of the text conversation. It was good times. It was good times.
And then I finally get it open and I reply, and Laird doesn't reply for 24 hours. I was like, I think my burner's not working. And Dave's like, no, he just hasn't replied yet.
Is this the iPhone or no?
Yeah. It's the Laird.
The Laird phone.
It just goes straight to God. It's like amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Sammy, closing thoughts from you.
Look, if I drink as much during the tournament as I have today, it's going to be 7 buy-ins in the first hour. Let's donk it off. Let's kamikaze it. Let's have some fun out there. Let's do this thing.
Can I give a shout out to Sammy, because I know when he's come on the show in football season, you know, we'd be recording later in the day, you know, it'd be time to drink. Sammy just has a Pavlovian response to being on the Swolecast and grabbing his flask. We need to test this by recording at like 10 a.m. and just seeing if Sammy still goes straight for the bottle.
Yeah, I also check your Bayesian priors on that, bro.
I also need to mention that so this morning I'm like getting creative assets ready, doing things for this poker tournament, and someone's like, what is Sammy's global poker name? So I'm like looking at his tweets, and I see this one where his handle is I drink your milkshake. So I pull up my iMessage window, and I really need to sync my contacts on my Mac, because I messaged someone who is like, he is not in the DFS world. He's not in the fantasy world. This is a guy from like another stage of life that I'm in. And I asked him, hey, is your global handle I drink your milkshake? Because I thought it was Sammy, because I'd been messaging with Sammy, and he's like, no. So now I had to explain to him like what was going on.
Wow. Was that really hard for you?
That was the story.
That's
like, just like in a normal
it was a really bad story. I thought that was going to go back to that Sammy's Twitter name used to be @I'm EV positive when he first started the fantasy grind, and that would have been a good story.
Yeah,
I should have made that my global poker handle. I really goofed up not doing that.
All right, what's your name?
Revert Z Top. If you're in any DK League of Legends tournaments, you'll be real familiar with that username.
So when you registered a new global handle, you went.
Well, it was better than his other recognizable handle, which would have been FF Comedy Hour _
I can't win with you, Dave, because when I made my name for RotoGrinders, I just did P over Z, and you go, oh, that's so dumb. You're not going to use a name. Then I use my actual screen name for Global Poker, and you don't like that either. What do you want me to be called, Kitchen?
Why can't you just like take a page out of Davis's playbook and be like Peter Overzet? You went Poverzet for the RotoGrinders name. Like, why not just be like Pete Overzet?
Because people in the League of Legends community know me as Revert Z Top, and I'm trying to bring those people over into the poker community.
What does Revert Z Top mean?
It's an anagram of my letters mixed up. You can't spell Pete Overzet without Revert Z Top.
That is so stupid.
Oh my gosh.
So mad.
It's an anagram.
That's how you got your name?
I didn't even come up with it. I typed it into.
He just threw it in like a Scrabble jumble thing and came up with it.
Back in 2012.
It was 1993 when I had like Soccer Dave at AOL. It's my AOL screen name. So like, I never knew it was going to be a thing. I guess my point is like, you still went with Revert Z Top instead of.
Hey Pete, what's the anagram for FF Comedy Hour _
What's Davis's anagram?
Everybody in the comments, post your anagram and you'll be entered to win sweep coins.
All right. Final thoughts, Davis.
I mean, I thought we were actually going to talk some cards because I like to talk to Sammy about poker because he knows more than I do. So I'm disappointed.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Like, what did you want to talk about?
Like, I don't know, like strategy for this tournament.
We talked about some real high level concepts, man.
Dude, Davis, you have a sweet anagram. Satiated.
Oh, that is pretty good.
8. That's an 8 letter. I guess it doesn't use the K, but 8 of.
I was about to say, is there a silent K in there?
I could get the full thing. Sammy Reid is close to mermaids.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go. Yeah. I'll get you one, Kitchen. 1 second.
I never knew you were an anagram, bro.
Oh my God, Kitchens is thickened. It's the top one.
Oh, that was a good note to end on, I think.
All right. And on that note also, regular exercise routine for thickened is going to be starting back up tonight. So stay tuned. Just be prepared for to be inspired, really. Be prepared to be inspired. I'm tired of eating Pop-Tarts and Lucky Charms. So such is life. All right. Peter, final thoughts?
I'm going to ship this thing. I'm doing it for the people, for the little guys.
God, that would be, dude, that would be very funny. I would really be rooting for you.
And you know what would be the best? It wouldn't be all those sweep coins. It'd be getting that Davis Bucks at plus 120.
That would be nice for you.
All right. That will do it for Revertsy Top, for Thickened, for Satiated, and what was Sammy's?
Mermaids.
Oh, I just thought of something. Because I know Sammy's middle name.
Wow, this is a tease.
Sammy's so old. Like, I wonder what popular middle names were back in 1946.
I don't know if I have the authority from Sammy to say what his middle name is.
You certainly do not.
Okay.
Wow.
Davis's middle name is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, you can share mine.
It's Lamont.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Is that one name or two?
That's
one name.
That's Davis's middle name being Lamont is the only way him being Eskimo Brothers with Cordero Patterson makes sense.
Hey, we're both just high quality guys.
All right, that'll do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow again, 8:30 p.m. Global Poker. Go to RotoGrinders.com, sign up, and also you can get the password for this week's event, the DFS Open. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.